In this video we shall discuss how to manage users or how to start or stop a DBMS. Because many tasks in this video are connected to each other, let's list all the tasks here and then review them all at once. So in the first task we have to create a new user and grant this user with full permissions on library database. In the second task we have to change the password for the user created in the solution for the task 1. And in the third task we have to create command files to stop, start or restart a DBMS. As the expected result for all tasks here is SQL code and CMD file, let's proceed with a review of the solutions right now. If we want to create a new user and grant him with full permissions in MySQL, we have to execute such two queries. In the first query, we have to create the user with such a username and allow him to connect from any host. Then we have to set the password for that user, and of course, in real life, you have to use strong password here. Then we have to grant all privileges to that user to all objects of our database. And of course, granting all privileges in real life is a dangerous idea. But we may follow that idea for educational purpose to simplify the query. To create a user with full permissions in Microsoft SQL Server, we have to perform the following operations. First, we have to switch to the main system database, and then we have to create the login. That login will have the following name and the following password. But we may only use that login to connect with the DBMS itself. To allow that login to work with our database, we have to switch to our database, and then we have to create a user with such a username for that login. And finally, we have to execute such a system stored procedure to grant our user with the following permissions. While this set of permissions is a little bit less dangerous comparing to MySQL, nevertheless, in real life, try never to grant the database owner permissions to anyone without explicit necessity. If you want to create a user with full set of permissions in Oracle, there's a bad surprise waiting for us. There is no simple way in Oracle to grant all permissions for one user to the database of another user. Still, there is a workaround, permission to connect as a kind of proxy user. So to achieve that result, we have to create a user identified by such a name and such a password. We have to set default table space and default temporary table space for that user. And then we have to alter our main user and allow connections with that new username. Finally, we have to grant that new user permission to create a session. It has to connect to the DBMS. If we want to change the password for previously created user, the solution is self-explanatory for each and every DBMS. The difference is in the syntax only. For MySQL we use setPassword expression, for Microsoft SQL Server we use alterLogin expression, and for Oracle we use alterUser expression. And finally, to restart a DBMS we may use such a command files for each and every DBMS. And it's really obvious that you may execute only start or stop section to start or stop your DBMS. Also, we have to mention that in all these cases you have to start your command files with administrator privilege. And finally, to stop a service we use netstop command, to start a service we use netstart command. And then we are only putting the names of our services in each and every expression. Of course, we have to mention that in real life, in your particular case, such names of services must be different. So please open the list of services of your operating system and find out the real names for all three services in your particular case.